The line between stills and video cameras seems to blur more and more every day. After all, they're both powered by image sensors, often use similar lenses, and on paper have many of the same recording options. For the last few years, many creators have rethought how they capture video, but technology hasn't slowed down. So where do still cameras and video cameras stand today? Hi, I'm Doug, and in this video, we're going to explore the video quality and functionality differences between the Sony A7 mirrorless lineup and Sony's FS7 professional camcorder. We'll put all three cameras, the A7R2, the A7S2, and the FS7 to the test in latitude, ergonomics, low-light noise handling, and resolution. We've kept the settings as close as possible, meaning each camera has been set to its best mode. They all use the same lenses, and all of them have been output to ProRes 422 with an external recorder. So what's better for video, mirrorless or Pro Video? Cinema images are, among other things, defined by exceptional dynamic range. A harsh clipped highlight is the telltale sign of digital video. So how do these cameras handle, say, a burst of sunlight? As you can see, the FS7 offers the smoothest roll-off, even pushed by 2EV, with both mirrorless cameras clipping much sooner in S-Log2. Now the A7S2 and FS7 also support S-Log3, and it definitely helps the A7S2 retain more detail in the clouds, though the FS7 still wins this one. Of course, shadow detail and noise levels are also important in dynamic range, and in that regard, both mirrorless bodies pull well ahead of the FS7. This is something to consider if a particular scene is shot in low light, as you can see in this example. The two mirrorless cameras have both S-Log2, and they look similar out of camera, but things get interesting when you throw the FS7 into the mix. In both S-Log2 and S-Log3, the FS7 has some clear advantages in saturation and contrast over the still cameras. We can likely attribute this to the 10-bit processing of the camera, but the end result is that you have much more flexibility in post. In the world of 4K, resolving power is more important than ever. We made sure to use high-quality glass here and stop down the lens to f4 for optimal sharpness. Of the two mirrorless cameras, the A7R2 was just a bit sharper than the A7S2, which is not surprising given its immense sensor size. But that sharpness was also matched by the FS7. In all honesty, the differences are negligible, and the footage cuts against each other pretty well, so we can't imagine being able to actually see a difference easily. Now, this test should surprise no one. Rolling shutter has certainly improved in the new A7R and S2 cameras, but it's still there. And naturally, a dedicated video camera will be designed to deal with this better. You can see for yourself that the mirrorless bodies are no match for a fast-moving train, whereas the FS7 handles it quite well. People have made a lot of noise about the ISO performance of the Sony A7 series, especially the A7S2. The R2 also holds its own in APS-C mode, though for full-frame noise levels, the A7S2 is simply unmatched. The A7R2 comes in second place here thanks to its backside illumination, but this is one area where the FS7 falls a bit short. That's not to say the camera isn't clean, as its base ISO is a staggering 2000, but in our tests, we found that a maximum of 6400 is about as far as you want to push that camera. Again, this is why it's always important to know what and where you're shooting. Your lighting conditions will play to a different strength in each camera. Although still cameras have come incredibly far in the last few years when it comes to video recording, it's hard to argue with the full-size feature set of a dedicated video camera. Ultimately, you'll have to decide for yourself whether the form factor fits your needs. Now obviously, the two mirrorless bodies are both compact and lightweight. Being professional still cameras, they also have manual control over the lens and recording options. The FS7's major advantage is that because it's a video camera, it has an offset viewfinder, a rosette hand grip, and most importantly, it's easily shoulder mounted. It requires minimal rigging accessories to make it work in a handheld situation, whereas pretty much any still camera requires a number of accessories to work over the shoulder. Lastly, with a bigger body comes more room for physical buttons, dials, and even built-in ND filters. The second big difference is connectivity. Although the A7R2 and A7S2 can take external audio and output 4K video, the FS7 is the only one that can take professional connections such as XLR audio and 10-bit SDI video. The FS7 also has more battery options, and since the batteries it uses are higher capacity, it will definitely outlast either still camera in the field. Don't discount the A7R and A7S II though. Both of them are full frame as opposed to Super 35 on the FS7, but the S2 is the higher quality full frame option. Having that extra flexibility to frame your shot, not to mention being able to immediately record video from such a compact device, cannot be overstated. So just like cameras themselves, content creators come in all forms. Filmmakers and videographers alike have 3 amazing options for shooting beautiful video, and at the end of the day, there is a camera for everyone. The Sony A7R II and A7S II offer amazing video performance in packages that just a few years ago would be unthinkable. That said, a dedicated video camera like the FS7 offers the best video quality with better controls, ergonomics, and professional connections for those who need it. And what's truly great is that any of these cameras can complement the other, thanks to shared lenses, color formats, and 4K resolution. For B&H, my name is Doug. Thanks for watching.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.